Hi everybody, I am back with another video about my trip, and this video entails the camera that I used, which I'm just going to touch on, and then the actual mini album. So the camera that I used here is the Fuji Instant camera, which is the Instax Mini, and it runs about $50 to $60 depending on where you get it. Target has the Polaroid, Walmart has this one, which is where my mother and I picked it up. And then the film is about $1 a picture, so you buy it in a pack of 20, and it's about $20 from Walmart, but you can also get it online, I'm sure. And you put your setting on, and the photo pops up right here instantly, and then you just give it a little bit of time to dry, and it develops. So this is the primary camera that we'll use throughout the entire trip, and we had a blast using it. So this is the mini album that I created during our trip. As I said in the last video, on the way up, I actually forgot my paper trimmer because it didn't fit in the bag and it got left behind at the house. So I was able to get another one, fortunately, and I created this book. I wanted to have it completely finished before the trip was over, but that didn't quite happen because we got so busy doing all this stuff, and then I figured, oh, I can scrapbook on the way home, but we bought so much stuff that there wasn't enough room for me to scrapbook in the back anymore. So, but I would say 75% of the book was completed in West Virginia. So, this is the cover, and it just says West Virginia Trip 2013, and this I actually did create in the car on the way up there. I think in Georgia, North Carolina, I have no idea. So, here's where we begin, and the paper collection that I used for this is the Echo Park. I still had a bunch left. It's the Echo Park Reflections by Lori Whitlock. That's the collection I used, the collection kit. And back here is like a map of Charleston, West Virginia that I kind of use. It's not paper that came with the paper kit, but I tried to really include memorabilia that we picked up along the way. And the story begins here. And I have gotten a lot better about journaling. It says, it was originally supposed to be an 8-hour trip, but we made it in 14. And I got a little compass. This was our room key, so of course had to save that. And it says, this is what matters most. Got a little business card from my aunt's brother. My aunt is not really my aunt. I guess I should clarify this. My aunt is actually my mom's best friend since they met in kindergarten, and then my mom moved away here to Florida in 3rd grade, and they have somehow stayed friends all this time, and Aunt Robin still lives in West Virginia. So it's pretty crazy. It's really, really cool, though, that they've stayed in touch enough for us to come visit them and stay with them for a week. So, and then this is just from the restaurant, Uncle Johnny's restaurant, so Johnny Mac's. And then my mother's maiden last name is Maloney, and my grandmother and grandfather had a drugstore, Maloney Drugs. Before we had Eckerd's and Walgreens, he was the only pharmacist in the town. And someone named Bill Maloney was running for West Virginia, and they had put that in the front yard when we arrived, and my mom loved it. She thought it was so fun. It says, Mom was so excited that Uncle Rusty put up this sign when we arrived. And then in the back you see it says Fruth Pharmacy. We don't have a Fruth here in Florida. I've never even heard of it until I went, but it's like Eckerd's or Walgreens, but I would say it's better. So I just saved the little bag. I don't have anything in it, but it says Fruth. And then we took a picture. It's kind of hard to see the background, but it's this Sunday. It says Home Place, Ravenswood, which is where my mother's from. Ravenswood, West Virginia. And we went to the West Virginia Museum, which was awesome. If you guys can go to the Capitol, oh my goodness, you gotta go to the museum. It's so fun. So this was the Big Boy Burger guy, and of course got a picture. This was taken on my phone, so I printed this one from home, but it says Ripley, partly cloudy, 36 degrees. And then on the back it says, Mom and I both love the cold weather. Today we traveled to Charleston, West Virginia. One of our stops we had made was at Almost Heaven, which is the scrapbook store. I was so excited that West Virginia had a scrap store. We had a blast shopping and bought some stuff. And like I said, we spent about, 45 minutes in that store. Super cute. Almost heaven scrapbooking. So I got the business card and our receipt is here. And then this is a picture of me in front of the store, if you can see. So I thought that was really fun. Oops. And then the next page. This was amazing. We went to the Capitol and we were driving through one of the neighborhoods where my mom had recognized some of the streets, and it's amazing. See, I don't have this in Florida, so some of y'all might be like, oh, boring. But this tree doesn't even, the picture doesn't justify the tree. It almost looked plastic. It was so beautiful. We have nothing like that here in Florida, and it was gorgeous. So had to get a picture of the tree, and it says Monday, and this is actually my mom in here. And it says, when we were driving through Charleston, we were both so amazed at how beautiful this tree was. We had to stop and take a picture with it. This time of year is so beautiful up here in the West Virginia mountains. There are so many things to do and see there. We both had a blast at the Capitol. We took the entire day to enjoy Charleston. And then here's me. You can really the picture does not justify how beautiful this tree was. It seriously looked plastic. And I actually had saved some leaves from it, but there was no way I was able to put them in the book. So I ended up having to toss them. And then this is me in front of the Capitol of West Virginia, and it says Monday, October 28th. Today, Mom and I traveled to the state capitol. It was so neat to go into the Capitol in Ravenswood. After we left there, we stopped into the church that is connected to my family. The church was beautiful. We were able to capture a few pictures outside. Since the church was closed, we really enjoyed Sacred Heart. We also had lunch downtown at Adelphia. It was mighty delicious. And then here's the West Virginia State Museum little pamphlet, so you can actually take it out and look at it. That's why I just went ahead and folded it over. And then a little bookmark from there and their times. And then we also ended up eating at Logan's Roadhouse. So I feel so bad, but I took a menu from Logan's, one of the drink menus, and I cut it and I put it in here. Because, us scrappers, we're crazy. I do not like to take things, but I needed that for the scrapbook, so I totally took it. And then this is where my uncle was baptized at Sacred Heart Church. So it's a huge church. It's really hard to get in this Instax Mini. So we ended up doing a double picture, and I layered them together like that. This was actually an accident. I didn't plan it out like that. But like in the bottom picture, it's Mom. And then the top one, it's me. And I tried to fit them both on one page, and it wasn't working. When I lined them up, I thought that looked really cool. So that was, that turned out fun, I thought. So I bet you if I try and do this, it won't turn out. It's worth a try, though. This is my mother's cousin, and they have the same name. My mother's name is Nisha. There's my mom. And, her cousin's name is Nisha. It's spelt the same way, but she pronounces Nisha, and she's Nisha, which I think is so funny. So I call her Aunt Nisha. And then here's a picture of Mom and I that we took one of the mornings. And then this was also in the West Virginia Museum. We actually had to go back another day because the one day it was closed, and we went back to actually go to it. Monday it was closed, I think. Or Sunday, I can't remember. Today we woke up early to go spend time with our family. We stopped by the museum and then had a delicious lunch at Adelphia. Then we went and had a fun visit with Aunt Ruth and Dottie. I still can't believe Aunt Ruth is 90 and can really play the piano by ear. After we went to spend time with our cousin Nisha, we told old stories of our family and went to dinner at Lone Star. So let's see. This is the Adelphia Sports Bar that we went to in Charleston, West Virginia. And this is my mother's Aunt Ruth and her cousin Dottie. It's my cousin too. She is 90 years old. She looks amazing. I cannot believe she's 90. She walks, she talks, she's all there. It's crazy. And you can ask her to play any song and she'll play it by ear. She's never taken piano lessons, anything. And if she doesn't know the song, you just hum it to her and she'll literally start playing it. It's amazing. I just can't believe it. And there's Aunt Nisha again. I went ahead and printed out on my selfie. And it's so funny because my absolute all-time favorite restaurant is Lone Star. We only have one left in Florida. It's in Orlando, Florida. It's a 2-hour drive from me. And it's my all-time favorite restaurant. And Aunt Nisha was like, well, let me take y'all out to dinner. And then we're like, no, no, no. And then she was like, yeah, I'm taking y'all out to dinner. And so we went out to dinner. And she's like, well, where are we going to eat? And she started listing places. And the last place she listed was Lone Star. I go, oh, can we please go there, Aunt Nisha? And she took us to Lone Star, and I was in heaven. I haven't eaten there in years. I was so excited. And so today we drove back to Charleston to visit with my mom's cousin Nisha. We ended up having dinner with her at Lone Star, my favorite restaurant. And then this is me actually scrapbooking in the hotel. It got a little smudge down there. But this is me scrapbooking in the hotel. I went ahead and took over the only table in there, and, I did what I could. And then we actually this is Wednesday, and we went to Beckley, and we went to the coal mine. I had never been to a coal mine before, and my mom hadn't either. So my mom really enjoyed this trip with me because she said she did stuff that she never normally does when she goes. She normally just kind of hangs out in Ravenswood, which is a really small town, and she doesn't really, I guess go to the coal mine like she had never been. She'd never been to the museum. She had never gone to the West Virginia Capitol, which my Aunt Gloria had worked there for like 50 years. It was her only job. She was Senator Byrd's something. Not her secretary, but she was the right-hand woman for Senator Byrd. So she was so excited that this trip, I made us do different stuff than she normally did. So we went to the coal mine. This was actually in the coal mine church. And they had these free stickers, and I journaled on the back. And it says, today we woke up early to make the trip to Beckley. My mom and I had never been in a real coal mine, so we both decided to do the coal mine exhibit. After we grabbed lunch at Honey Baked Ham, and we had to make a stop at Hobby Lobby and TJ Maxx. We both had a great day. So we were trying to figure out where we wanted lunch, and we decided to go to Honey Baked Ham, which you can actually eat there. And here in Florida, there's one right down the road from me, and I totally thought you could only buy ham there, but you can eat there. If y'all have not eaten here, you gotta try it. It's so good. This was the one in Beckley, West Virginia. Oh my goodness, I love their food. This was one of those little selfie pictures I took one of the mornings. And of course, like in the last video, I showed y'all what I got from Hobby Lobby. So I saved the receipt, just the journey. We went to Tamarack in West Virginia. And this was a pamphlet about this big. Well, you can't really see it, but it was a lot bigger. And I actually cut it down. You can kind of see the lines here. And I pieced it together. And then on the back, I covered up with scrapbook paper. And then a picture of me. This is near the Silver Bridge, maybe. This is like the Ohio River. And this was Thursday. I must say that the Mothman is a very interesting story. I am not so sure I believe in it, though. We were also able to get a picture with the Mothman statue. So those of y'all who live in West Virginia, you definitely know what Mothman is. And those of y'all who have seen Men in Black, I believe that is loosely based on Mothman. So I've been told. I'm not positive about that, but that's what I've been told. So Mothman is this creature that has actually appeared all over the world, and then something disastrous has happened. Here in West Virginia, the first bridge, when my mother was born in Ravenswood, they didn't have a hospital. So they had to cross the Ohio River, which would be on the Silver Bridge, and then she was brought back on that. So the Silver Bridge is very special to her. It's the first bridge she was brought back on, has ever been on. The Silver Bridge still exists, but it actually, in the 40s or 50s, maybe even 60s, I can't remember, it got knocked down, and people believe that it was the Mothman, and a lot of people died. It was pretty tragic, so that's the whole thing. And West Virginia has the only Mothman museum, and that's in Point Pleasant, and this is the Mothman. This is from the receipt, and I just saved it. This was a postcard my mom had bought me to put in my book. And then this is Mother and I in front of the Mothman statue. So it's like a serious thing there. So it says, today we visited the world's only Mothman museum. And so my mom said, you know, she doesn't really know if she believes it or not. It's just the fact that it's the Silver Bridge, and that's very important to her because, you know, she was born there. This is just a special street for our family. So that's my Aunt Robin and my mom. And then just another little selfie of me with my new shirt. I had bought this shirt. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, this is the day that we went to Amish country in Ohio. It was like a 3-hour drive, I'd say. Totally worth it. It was so fun. Amish life is so interesting. I was actually doing research on it on the way up in the car on the way to Ohio, and it's just it's a very different way of life than I live, and it's quite interesting. I will say that. Okay, so this is a picture of Mom with an Amish buggy and a horse, and those of you who are Amish are probably not watching this, but those of you who know anything about Amish, they think if you take a picture, it kind of like eats away at their soul type of thing. But if you're far enough away, I guess it doesn't, because I did research because I didn't want to offend anybody. So, and no one was in there, so I don't know the exact rule, but when I Googled it, it just said you had to be, you can't be like in the buggy or, you know, so I don't know, maybe I got that wrong, but I don't like horses at all. I'm terrified of horses, and this horse scared me. It took all my guts to take a picture with this horse, and why is he looking back at me? But for Mom, he could care less, and I did not get that, and I kept running out of the picture. I'm like, Mom, I can't do it, I can't do it. I'm terrified of horses because they bite my feet, they throw me off. I just don't like horses. They scare me. So, Friday. This had to be one of the most fun things we did on our vacation. I loved every minute of Amish country. We did lots of shopping and eating. Amish life is so interesting, as it is so different than the way I live. It took us about 3 hours to get to Amish country in Ohio. On our way back home, we were about to stop at a craft store called Crafts 2000. I sure wish I had one in Florida, and I talked about that in my past video. Crafts 2000 is amazing. There's 3 in the United States. I know Michigan, West Virginia, and maybe Ohio, I think it is now. But if you guys have one, it's totally worth the drive. It's amazing. And then this is my aunt and us all eating lunch together in Amish country, a little Amish restaurant. And this was called, and there's the Crafts 2000 right there. This was called the Old World Bakery and Cafe, healthy artisan breads and pastries, and this is where we ate in Amish country. And I actually saved the guest check. I had a BLT. My mom and I split a BLT, and she had a side salad. I wasn't super duper hungry. And then I got some cinnamon rolls from there. And then, let's see, this was the last day, was Saturday, because it's an all-day drive. My mom does not fly. She's terrified. So Ravenswood, which is where my mother is from, and it says, these lands were surveyed 1771 for George Washington by Colonel William Crawford, who later was taken captive by the Indians and burned at the stake. Washington camped near in 1770. Here is grave of Jesse Hughes, noted scout. So Saturday. Today was our last real day on vacation in West Virginia. We decided to take it easy today since we had a 14 to 18 hour drive tomorrow. We drove around Ravenswood one last time and spent time with each other at Aunt Robin's house. We had so much fun laughing and talking about the old times. I love singing Take Me Home Country Road by John Denver. And that's kind of a song about West Virginia, you know, take me home country road to the place where I belong. I'm not going to sing it for you guys, but it's a really good song, and I swear they sang that 2 or 3 times, and I actually got it recorded on my phone, and it's pretty cute, and you know, it's something that we'll always be able to remember doing. And then, the whole time I was in West Virginia, I wanted to eat this restaurant, Geno's, so bad, But we saved it for the very last day, and it was really good. It's just pizza, but it was good, and their cinnamon sticks were so good. So Aunt Robin and Mom let us eat there, let me pick, and we finally got to eat there. I was so happy on the last day. That was my last meal there. And then as we're just driving through Ravenswood, this was an old ice cream shop, and I forget his name. Those of you who live there would know. I can't think of his name, but it's closed now. But whoever this guy was, he taught everybody in the whole town to swim, even my mother and all her brothers. And they have the fun thing to do there when my mom grew up was, my mom lived on a farm, which is now a neighborhood, but she had one of the big farmhouses there, and I can't think of his name, but he taught everybody to swim in the public pool, I guess, and that was the fun thing to do in the town. And I live in a huge city, so it's really cool to hear my mom speak about these type of stories, because we don't have that here where I live. It's a big city, you know, so it's just a very different way of life. And then this was just in Ravenswood by the museum. It's a real log cabin, so I got a picture in front of that. And then this was the last night that we were there when we were singing, and we got to hang out with Aunt Sissy, which is Aunt Robin's sister, and this was probably the funnest night. It was the last night. We didn't do anything but sit in Aunt Robin's kitchen, sing and talk, and it was the most fun I think we honestly had. And you know, just spending time with friends and family. It was so funny because they were drinking wine, which, you know, made it more fun. I don't drink, so, well, I don't drink often, especially not wine. And that's it. That is the book. So I had a blast making it. It probably took about 3 hours to make. Really the biggest part when I got home was keeping everything organized and what day was what, and thank the Lord for Facebook and Instagram, because that's like my timekeeper, so I knew what days we did what and what memorabilia should go on what day. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my mini album, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye!